Hey guys, welcome to the cryptocurrency series brought to you by Trademanza. In today's video, we are going to understand about forking. And if you guys haven't seen the previous video, please watch it to understand this even better. So we'll quickly recap what we already studied the last video. So we studied about proof of work, and proof of work is nothing but a consensus algorithm. So it requires the miners, around 51% of the people in the blockchain, to approve. So let's just say this gentleman right here approves, gets a nonce. He sends to other miners the same nonce what he has found, and the other miners in the blockchain will approve that yes, the nonce is correct, or no, the nonce is not correct. And let's just say that the miners approve that yes, the nonce is correct. Then the block will be added to the blockchain, and they get a reward for it. Some of the major cryptocurrencies which use proof of work algorithm are Bitcoin, Ethereum, Monero, Dash. There are many more, but these are the major ones. We'll quickly recap what about a single Bitcoin transaction. A single Bitcoin transaction, around 1072 kg of carbon dioxide is generated, and it consumes electricity which is equivalent to the power consumption of an average US household for around 77 days. This is just a single Bitcoin transaction. The electronic waste is around 307 grams, and hash rate is nothing but the speed of mining. It is nothing but the number of hashes which are calculated in per second. So if a particular mining machine calculates 1000 hash in a second, then it's 1000 hash per second. If it calculates 10,000 hashes in a second, then it's 10,000 hashes in a second. And the transaction is taking the transaction is not necessary. It's not compulsory, and the fees per transaction, right? The average fees of transaction right now is less than $10, but in 2021 it boomed to around $60 per transaction. By right now it's in a steady from last 8 to 9 months. So now we're going to start about forking. So what exactly is forking? In terms of software engineering, forking is when a developer takes an open source code, starts working on it, and makes the code complete and makes the software completely different. So a developer takes a copy of the source code from one software package, works on it, and creates a distinct and separate piece of software. So that is nothing but forking. Software engineer taking a code, open source code, making changes, completely new, different software. So, but in terms of blockchain, it is a little different. A fork happens when a community makes a change in the blockchain protocol or basic set of rules. When this happens, the chain splits, producing a second blockchain that shares all of its history with the original, but is headed off in a new direction. So let's just assume that there is a blockchain going on like Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin transactions are very slow. Then what the community will agree together is that they will make changes in this Bitcoin blockchain, and they will try to make the transactions more efficient or faster. So they will make small changes in the protocol, or they'll try to change the code, and they'll try to make it faster. So this is nothing but fork. Fork is nothing but updates, or something which makes a blockchain better. Like let's just say we have all these updates which we get in our phone, like iOS 13, iOS 14, iOS 15, XYZ, right? So like this, there are updates in the blockchain too, which the community agrees, because this is all decentralized. So when the community agrees that this update, will try to put it in the blockchain, the blockchain becomes better, and we that is called forking. So let's just say over here we have Tom here, right? Now this is a already existing blockchain. Now from after this block number two, Tom has copied the code, and he has made the certain changes in the protocol in the code, and he has made a completely new blockchain out of it. So this is nothing but forking. Now this is a big change, right? Because a completely new different chain was produced while this chain is already being there. So this is a big change, but there can be minute changes, the small updates to improve the transaction, to improve the transaction, to make it lightning fast, or to improve the security. So we have two type of forking, right? We have soft fork and hard fork. Soft fork are the small updates, while the hard fork is a major, very big update. So in soft fork we have software updates which are adapted by all the users. It's the new standard. It brings in new features and functions. It is compatible with the non-fork blocks too. These are the small changes like iOS 13.001, 13.02, 13.03. The small changes, not the big changes. And hard fork is when a completely new different change, like let's just say that someone takes a iOS code and makes a completely new phone out of it, then it's called a hard fork. So one example of soft fork is the SegWit update which happened in Bitcoin in 2017. So post 2017, Bitcoin was suffering a lot of things. Like one of the things was that transaction was pretty slow on Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin has to be adapted by everyone, around 7 billion people, and it needs to replace the fiat currencies like dollars or rupees or euros, then it needs to be fast, right? The transaction need to be very fast, but that was not the case. It was taking too much time, and the transactions were being slow, sluggish, and one of the reason was that one block on Bitcoin was just 1 megabyte. Now in the SegWit update, so I'll tell you the reason why. So let's just say this is a block of Bitcoin. So it used to have a lot of clutter in it. It had signatures of the block, and which used to have a lot of weight, and because of this it used to slow down the network. It used to delay verification, and if verifications were delayed, sometimes it used to take even hours, and because of this the transactions could not be faster. So what the SegWit update did is that the signatures which were there in the block, which slowed down the transaction, they removed the signature out of it, and that is one software which happened in Bitcoin, and it became the new industry standard, and everyone adapted to it because it made Bitcoin faster, lighter, easy to use, and Lightning networks were adapted in many places. So the digital signature accounted for 65% of the space. As I told, 65%, it was weighing down the Bitcoin block. And because of this, the community agreed that yes, we will remove the digital signature, and they removed the digital signature and they increased the number of transactions which could be put on the block, and this helped the Bitcoin blockchain a lot. This was a SegWit update. So this is the non-SegWit blocks. There were all the signatures on it, and you can see that it is having down the blockchain, making the transaction slower, verification slower. So the signatures were just removed after the block. It made the transaction much faster, and Lightning networks could be adapted. So this is El Salvador. It's a small country in South America. It is one of those first countries which has adapted Bitcoin as a replacement currency, because they suffer from a lot of things in their country like inflation, and Bitcoin could cure all of them. And the SegWit update was one of the reasons why they could do this, because they could now Bitcoin could do lightning fast transactions. And now currently El Salvador owns around 1120 Bitcoins. Their president is very bullish on Bitcoin. Okay, so the one more software which happened in Bitcoin a few months ago was the Taproot update. So in the Taproot update, it had three separate proposals, but it boiled down to one thing: to making the new digital signature Schnorr. And this would help Bitcoin become even more efficient, even more faster, more private, and more complex transaction could be executed in Bitcoin. Like Ethereum has this smart contracts. So after the Schnorr update, even Bitcoin could do that. When was it activated? It was activated in the after block 709 632. But the discussion started back in 2016, but it was implemented now, like a few months ago. And it could do more complex transactions like Ethereum, the smart contracts. It brought in new innovations, Lightning updates, make the Bitcoin blockchain even better. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you like it, please subscribe and follow Trademanza to watch more videos.